What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Three Phase Podcast. My name is Joe Laloon, and today I'm going to go through a solo cast about why I built a strength and conditioning program and what makes it different. The podcast today is brought to you by threephasefitness.ca. Head to the website. You can see all the services that I'm providing right now based on personal training. I've got everything from programs that are pre-designed, like the one we're going to talk about today. We've got remote coaching, virtual training, in-person training options. All of those are going to help you get to your goals faster and make sure that you are successful in your fitness journey. On the website, you can also subscribe to the newsletter where we're going to send out regular emails with information that's going to help enhance your training, your nutrition, your lifestyle. And when you sign up, you'll get the 5 killer workouts. This is a compilation of workouts that I put together that I've used for myself and with clients that I find really effective, bang for your buck workouts that are going to get you stronger, adding more size, have you feeling better with the barbell. And that is a great starting point for everyone who's trying to get introduced to getting stronger. So head to threephasefitness.ca, subscribe to the newsletter, check out the services that I'm providing. Hit me up on Instagram at JoeLaloon3Phase. Love to connect with you. Hit me up with your questions. Let's get connected. Check out the content that I've got on there. Hopefully a lot of that helps you out with the stuff that you're doing in and out of the gym. So now let's dive into the podcast, talking more about why I created a strength and conditioning program and what makes it different.
The Three Phase Podcast is starting now.
So strength and conditioning program combines both strength and conditioning as part of a ideally progressive program that's going to help you build both those elements. Strength typically involves dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, and sort of anything in between that helps build overall strength. And the conditioning side of it is usually called cardio, but has more structure to it and is designed to build more conditioning over time. Now, most strength and conditioning programs leave it at just that. There's a plan in place to help you get stronger, and there's a plan in place to help you improve your conditioning. What I've tried to do is take a more holistic approach to a strength and conditioning program and attack it from more angles. So holistic to me means that we're trying to close all the gaps that are going to make you the best version of yourself. So of course we have a strength and a conditioning component, but I've also included mobility, meditation, nutrition, community, and tracking. And I think if we can touch on all of those elements, it's going to make a more well-rounded program that's going to be sustainable for a longer period of time, and it's going to help you keep making progress week on week. So I created a 52-week plan that's a full year of strength, conditioning, mobility, meditation, nutrition, community, and tracking all in one program. Now, we'll break down each of these so we get a better understanding of what's actually going into the program and what you can expect. So the first thing is the strength program. So we could think about strength as basically a life enhancer. So if things in our day-to-day lives are at certain level of intensity, it might be like opening doors, carrying kids, carrying groceries, there's a certain level of intensity needed for that. And the stronger we get, the easier those things are, which means we're going to have more energy throughout our days. We're not going to have to recover as hard. And I know that seems maybe a little bit silly, but when you start to feel the benefits of getting stronger, you also start to recognize that the things that used to be challenging for you to do are not really challenging at all anymore. And I've heard this so many times with clients and friends where they've said like, oh yeah, I had to help a friend move and picking up that couch was so easy to do. Or, I was moving benches for a concert and, I'm the oldest one in the group and all these young kids, they couldn't even pick the benches up to help me out. So it's like those little things that we maybe don't think about as, tangible strength items, but they're happening all the time. And when we can get stronger in the gym, it just makes everything in life easier. So it doesn't matter if you're an athlete, you're an older individual, you're new to lifting weights, it doesn't matter. It's going to enhance your day-to-day. And if it's a sport, it's going to enhance that as well. So strength is super important. Everyone across the planet, no matter what your vocation is, you should be doing some type of strength training. Now, the way I built the strength program is meant to be progressive. So the entry point is really manageable. So if you've never done strength training before, you could start week 1, workout 1, you could pick up a dumbbell or a barbell and you'd be off to the races. And I designed it with the intention of being accessible to everyone. Now, if you're someone who has been training for a while or has taken a break from training for a while, this is also a great starting point just to get the ball rolling, get you back into your training routine, get you back into the gym, start lifting weights again, start getting reacclimated to training. And as we move through the program, of course, it gets more and more challenging, more and more intense, but it's built gradually and it's meant to be super sustainable so that we're never having to take long weeks off or breaks or having injuries, anything along those lines. Now, this is something that I've seen to be so common, and is why I wanted to make a program that was a little bit different, especially for something that is pre-designed. Now, if we're going into custom training, it's a lot easier to gauge, where someone's starting point is, how to progress them, how to avoid injury, how to continue getting them stronger. But when someone is not doing a custom program, how do we make it approachable so that anyone who starts it is going to feel like it's a custom program, like they can start from wherever they are and build gradually, create sustainable growth in their strength, and avoid injury. So that was my approach. I wanted it to be accessible. I wanted people to be able to build strength and avoid injury. Now, shifting into conditioning, I feel like conditioning is a misnomer in training. So when people start strength training, usually what happens is they go all in on that barbell. I've done this. I'm very guilty of it, where you get really consumed by these barbell lifts and you just want those to get better. And a lot of the other elements that build better health and fitness get dropped to the wayside. And the first thing that typically goes is conditioning. So, we've seen it all the time in the gym. We see those big, strong individuals coming in. They do their barbells, they walk out the door, and then the next time they come in, you see them huffing and puffing walking up the stairs because their conditioning has been dropped to the wayside while they focus on their strength. Now, at certain points, there are opportunities where, maybe someone wants to really dive in on barbells and they're going to focus a block of training just towards that and let conditioning kind of drop off for a bit. But for 99% of people who are doing this stuff for enhancement of their life, for better performance in their sports, for more energy, those other reasons other than just being a barbell athlete, conditioning is crucial, and it's also going to make things in your life a heck of a lot easier. If you're going for a bike ride, going for a walk, playing with your kids, hiking up a mountain, all those things require some base of conditioning. And so I took the same approach to the conditioning element of this program, is that it's meant to be entry level at the beginning, very accessible to someone who maybe has done no conditioning in their life, or they've taken a step away from it. We're trying to rebuild that back up. So once you are introduced to conditioning again, the first couple almost feel like nothing, like they're so easy to do, but it's all about just like breaking the ice, getting you back into some conditioning. It's going to build gradually throughout the 52 weeks. We're going to, the goal is to build an engine. And I like that term a lot. We could think about is like every time we do some element of conditioning, we're adding to the capacity of our engine. So it's not just like we're not hammering the pavement and just like adding 5 minutes to every run for the 52 weeks or anything like that. I try to be a little bit more methodical about it. So we have combinations of low intensity, steady state, which is sort of like low and slow, jog, walk, however you need to approach it, bike, swim, whatever conditioning style you like or cardio style you like, and some high intensity stuff. So this could be like intervals, it could be Tabatas, it could be circuits, but the idea is we want to have an accessible starting point that's going to build gradually. Over 52 weeks, we're going to have this enhanced cardiovascular ability. We're going to have a better conditioning levels for everything that we want to do, whether it's sport or life. And by the end of the 52 weeks, if you look back or you were to repeat some of those early conditioning sessions, it's going to feel like nothing because the engine is so developed at this point. Part 3 of this program is mobility. Now, this is probably one of the most common things that I've seen with people's training is that as they start getting into the gym, they start working harder, lifting heavier. And now mobility starts to drop off. We're challenging the body in different ways. We're running, we're biking, we're lifting dumbbells, we're lifting barbells. These are all new elements to the body. And a lot of the times what will happen is the mobility will drop off, especially as we are learning how to do new movements. We might not be training in a complete range of motion yet, which would maintain your mobility. So what we have to do is incorporate some specific mobility work that is going to, in turn, help us with some of the other strength movements that we've been doing. So there are devoted days to mobility sessions. I've tied those usually into your conditioning workouts because the conditioning workouts are generally shorter. Like I try to keep those, between 8 and 20 minutes at most. So you have more time on those days that you can devote to some mobility. It also just feels so great after doing, let's say, like a run, and you take 15 to 20 minutes to do like some full body stretching or some specific mobility work that's going to help prep you for your next workout. So this has been the approach that I've taken for myself and for my clients, that when we know what's going to come in the next day, we can prep the body for that the day before. So let's say we've got a deadlift specific day or a squat specific day on Wednesday. We got mobility and a conditioning session on Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday, we're going to start to get the body prepared for that squat session on Wednesday. We know what's going to happen. We know how to get ready for that, and we can use that time to really dial in the body and get us ready for our next workout. Now, number 5 is the nutrition. So you've probably heard this before. When we want to make progress, we could argue 80% of progress is developed with nutrition, but most people are focusing only on the strength side or the conditioning side, and they kind of eat whatever they want or they don't think much about it. Well, I think it is extremely important to bring some focus to nutrition. And so we've done that as well. Within this program, there is a nutrition element that is tied right into it. You're able to track your calories, your macronutrients directly in the app. You can even just take photos of your food to track what you're eating. And I've also included recipes. So, on average, most people are eating 3 times a day. So in each plan, I'm including 3 separate recipes over 3 days. So you get 9 recipes in total. I try to mix them up, obviously through 52 weeks. We don't want to be eating the same thing every single week for 52 weeks. So at certain points, I'll add new stuff in. Obviously, we're communicating the whole time. So if there's something you really don't like, we'll sub stuff out. But what I'm trying to do is with nutrition, because it can become so complicated, there's so much information out there. There's always contrarians, going the opposite of what what seems normal. So it can become really complicated. So what I'm trying to do in nutrition is make it accessible as well. Make it simple, make it something that's easy to follow, making something that you can be consistent with. And I think those are the really important parts of nutrition, is that it's got to be accessible. It's got to be, simple enough, and you've got to be able to be consistent with it. So these recipes all taste great. I get so much great feedback from my clients that they love the steak tacos and they love the overnight oats. And so what we can do is, if you enjoy the food, you're going to be more likely to eat it. I talk about nutrition like Ad Libs, and if you know what that is, it used to be these little magazines, and it was, a writing magazine, and so it would say like, insert noun here, insert adjective here. Well, I kind of think about nutrition the same way. It's like insert protein here, insert carbohydrate here. And this way you start to understand how food works for you and how you can get the right mix and amounts of food that are going to still help you hit your goals. I don't think nutrition needs to be as complicated as it is, but because there are so many different narratives around nutrition, that's where it becomes really complicated. So with this plan, the goal, of course, of it being accessible and helping tie into all the other elements, you're going to have access to a nutrition plan that's going to be designed for you and your goals. Now, number 6 is community. So you may have seen, heard about this in other realms. Good examples are like yoga, CrossFit, running clubs. These are some of the most successful groups in health and fitness because they have community. They have other people pushing them, encouraging them, giving them feedback, celebrating with them. And when you have those elements tied into something that is challenging, that is new, that you are trying to create new lifestyle habits around, it's great and really helpful and makes you more successful when you have other people going through the same thing. So we have a community chat room where your workouts, as you finish them, are uploaded into that group, saying, for example, John has finished week 1 workout 2 and he hit 3 new personal bests. Other community members will have the opportunity to send you messages, celebrate with you, send you high fives. And this is just a great way to help build more compliance with the program and also help others be compliant to their program so they can be successful too. Nothing really feels better than getting a pat on the back when you've done a good job, when you've made a commitment. And that's what this program does too, tying in community. The next element of this program that I found extremely beneficial and I've had great feedback on is meditation. Now, strength, conditioning, even mobility, these are all stressors on the body. And if you already have a generally stressful life, with which most people do, they have some baseline of stress, we are now adding to that stress cup, meaning that we are increasing your stress. Now, this stress is a bit different. It's beneficial, it's positive, but it is stress nonetheless. So meditation is a great way to counter all the stress that we have in our daily lives. It's a moment for reflection. It's a moment for quiet. It's a moment to start taking steps away from the intensity of the training that we're doing, but it really helps balance things out. Now, for most people who have never meditated before, before they ever start, before they ever do their first meditation session, that everyone always says, I can't do it. My brain wanders off. I don't feel like I'm very good at it, so I'm not even going to bother at all. Well, what if we took that same approach to anything else? We would never even attempt it just because we think we're not good at it. And what's the difference with meditation? So that's my approach with this too, is again, I want it to be accessible. We're going to start with guided meditation that's going to help ease you in. Each meditation is around 12 minutes. This is a really good starting point where you can start to focus in on yourself, sit quietly, get in the routine of creating a meditation routine, and start to practice some mindfulness. The feedback that I've got from people who really did not think that they were meditators to begin with was that this was one of the best parts of the program because their lives were just so go, go, go. They never got a moment to quiet down. And this was a structured way to help keep them on track and accountable to something that was new, different, but overall helped in this holistic approach. And the reason I wanted to add meditation to this program is this is something I experienced for myself. Going all in on strength training, all in on the barbell just drove me harder and harder into this state that was so hard to recover from. You've been there before. You got black eyes, your sleep is crap, you've got no energy, you're running on caffeine. Well, that's not really a sustainable approach to strength training or conditioning for that matter. So to have this other side of the coin, or if you think like a yin yang symbol, we're getting into the other side of that symbol to bring more balance to your training. Now, the last part is tracking. And I've said this before, it's very hard to improve what you don't track. Now, a decent parallel example to this might be like finances. So if you're trying to save money and you're not paying any attention to what you're doing with your money and how your spend is, likelihood is that you're probably not saving as much money as you could. But when you start tracking your spending, you start paying more attention to it. All of a sudden you've got all this extra money that you can put into your savings account. Sure, we could take the same approach with our strength, with our conditioning, with our nutrition, even with our meditation and our mobility. If you start tracking, we will start to see progress because not only are you going to know where you finished last week, last training block, you're also going to start to see how much progress you're actually making by putting in consistent work. And I think this is probably one of the best elements of the training app that we use through Trainerize. At the end of every workout, you get an update about where you made progress. So it may show you, you made a personal best in the seated row, you added 3 reps. And in the squat, you added, 15 pounds to your squat today. So you're going to start to see, oh man, even though that workout didn't feel great, I still made progress. And I feel like that is just so encouraging to help you come back with focus for your next workout, knowing that, hey, just by showing up, even on a day that maybe doesn't feel great, there's still a really great opportunity for me to make progress towards my goals. Now we can do the same thing with nutrition. If we're paying attention every day to what we're eating, we're tracking that food, we're starting to see the weight on the scale either go up or down or stay where it is, depending on your goal. We can start to make adjustments, and then the adjustments don't feel so grand. They're a lot more gradual, progressive, moving in the direction towards what you're trying to accomplish, and it doesn't feel like so much to tackle. I like this idea of like zooming out. When we look day to day, sometimes we can get really tied into, what's happening. Oh, the weight on the scale went in the wrong direction. I'm going to get frustrated, forget about the workout today. I'm not going to do it. If we have this, secondary viewpoint, we can zoom out and we can see, today the weight didn't move in the right direction, but over the last 6 weeks, I've been moving progressively in the direction that I'm trying to go. Same thing with, the weights on the bar. Today I didn't do as good of a job. I didn't put as much weight on as I thought I would. Hey, but if I zoom out, now I'm starting to see, wow, that my squat, for example, is going in the right direction. So being able to track, being able to zoom out and see how you're doing over a more long-term viewpoint is going to help you start to see that you're making progress the whole time, you're getting better, and you just have to keep showing up, putting in the work, putting in that consistent effort, and getting you moving in the right direction. So when I picture this program, I picture it like a Venn diagram. There are 7 elements, they're all crossing over each other, and they all contribute to that center dot. And that center dot might be enhanced life. That's what makes this program holistic. You need each element to contribute to the next. Strength helps conditioning, conditioning helps strength, mobility helps strength, meditation helps strength and conditioning, nutrition helps strength, conditioning, mobility, community helps build strength, conditioning, mobility, and meditation. You see how it goes. And basically each element touches the next. Now, if we could take that approach, it will be much more sustainable progress towards getting stronger, having better conditioning, better mobility, better stress management through meditation, better nutrition, better sense of community, and ultimately will get you where you want to be, reduce your chance of injuries, reduce your chance of setbacks, and keep you moving in the right direction. Now, the umbrella over top of all of this information is education. As you're working through this, I want you to learn how to do this stuff for yourself. Of course, the program is a full year. Of course, it's going to give you as much feedback and support as you need to be successful. But ultimately, with all the training I do, whether it's this program or in person or anything else in between, is I want you to learn how to do this for yourself so that it is a lifetime change. I don't want this to be like a one and done program. Of course, those exist. There's lots of them out there. I even have some of them as well. But this program specifically is trying to teach you how to incorporate all of these elements into your life so that they are sustainable changes over a longer period of time, and that this becomes more of a long-term, lifelong lifestyle and not just a 6-week, 6-pack challenge or something like that. So the way the program works is you could sign up today. You'll start the following Monday. It will be week 1, workout 1. Everyone starts at the same point, so you're not jumping in midway through the program or anything like that. You'll have everything laid out for you week to week. That will include your strength workouts, your conditioning workouts, your mobility, your meditation that are guided, are going to be direct links that are going to take you to Spotify where you'll be able to listen and follow through those meditations. Your nutrition will be uploaded directly into the app where you can start to track your nutrition. You'll see those recipes, and you'll be included in the community group chat where you're going to start to get that feedback from our community members as soon as you finish your first workout. And of course, if you have any questions at any point, you have direct communication with me through the app. You can always share videos with me through Instagram if you're looking for form check or just any general feedback. I want you to be successful with this program, so I am accessible to you for any of those types of communications. I'm looking forward to having you join the program. Give it a shot. Start with 8 weeks. If you don't like it, you can leave at any point. No hard feelings, but I'm positive you're going to enjoy it. You're going to start to see the benefits. You're going to feel different. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be more mobile. Your food is going to be on track. And honestly, I put a lot of effort and energy into this to make it the best possible, most well-rounded program that I could, so that anyone can build strength, conditioning, health for themselves and build an enhanced version of themselves. You can sign up for this program right now at 3phasefitness.ca. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast today. Keep an eye out for the next one. We're going to have more solo casts, more guests, and you'll be able to check them all out on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts.